The country's premier business exhibition, the ZITF, has opened for business, and the setting of the Business Expo is very significant. Dubbed Kontutu Ziyatunga because of the smoke that was ever emitted by the industrial activity in the city, Bulawayo is now a shadow of its former self, prompting people to ask questions on what went wrong. The downward slide in the fortunes of the National Railways of Zimbabwe had a huge bearing, especially on most of the manufacturing companies that were based in the country's industrial hub of Bulawayo, as it translated to ballooning of the cost of transportation of raw materials and finished goods, says the president of Confederation of Zimbabwe Industries, Mr. Busisa Moyo.
Rail network, or one of the key ingredients. Bulawayo could produce the goods, whatever products were produced, they would be railed overnight into Harare. So proximity to markets didn't matter as much. With the rail network now not functional or not functioning as it used to, or at a cost that is prohibitive and prevents disadvantage for industry. There are a couple of other things, the effect of China on textiles. In spite of government trying to support local textile manufacturers, we are seeing imports. We've got places here in Bulawayo, like Kotama, where people are buying clothes from, and that affects the textile industry in Bulawayo.
On how the NRZ got to its current state, Mr. Moyo says the challenges that affected Zisco Steel, which was its major shareholder, had its toll, while questioning the decisions by some of the management that was previously at the helm of the national bulk and passenger carrier.
They say everything rises and falls on leadership, so we have to look at the leadership, the minds around the NRZ when it went into problems or when problems started appearing. We didn't provide the leadership as a country to help NRZ to emerge from its problems, looking at issues of competitiveness, antiquated equipment, the rail infrastructure itself not performing up to the level that is required. And we didn't address those problems quickly enough.
An economist, Mr. Benson Makandiwa, says aging equipment in the country's industries and high labor costs have created high production costs, forcing most companies to close shop as the price of their commodities became uncompetitive on the market.
If you look at it from a global perspective, most of the equipment that is being used in the manufacturing sector, or which is being used to produce the products that are being sold in the country, is a little bit old compared to the current machinery that is used by neighboring countries, and this makes the products a bit higher. There's an issue to do with labor. Our labor costs are a bit high as compared to other countries, and this also contributes to the competitiveness of our products, which makes it a little bit difficult for organizations to maintain a competitive advantage.
All right. Analysts say there's need for government to come up with homegrown solutions, like creating a pool of technocrats who will come up with a clear financial inclusion strategy if industries like these are to reopen doors for operations. Tafara Chikumira, ZBC News, Bulawayo.